Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. As always, today we've got a special guest on the show, someone you might recognize. We've got Cryptocito, and we're going to be talking about Cosmos. We've got lots of stuff to talk about. Atom 2.0, so a huge adjustment to the Atom tokenomics, if you like that word, tokenomics, token economics. We're talking about the VanEck report about how undervalued Cosmos is and just general ecosystem updates from the man himself. So Cryptocito, welcome to the show, my friend.
Awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate being back on. A big fan, and yeah, thanks for having me. A lot of things going on in Cosmos right now, so I think it's a good time, and people want to hear more about what's cooking.
Yeah, definitely. And you are a specialist, man. It's a fantastic thing to see you so deep in the Cosmos space.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, man. Like I remember the first time we talked, I was super nervous because I've been following your content for a while before, I even started YouTube. And it was it just came together very organically, like how I discovered Cosmos. And I just went down that rabbit hole. And I guess still today I'm in that rabbit hole and I'm just learning a lot. So, yeah, I really appreciate that you having me on here. And, yeah, I hope that the audience can also learn. I think my platform, what I usually like to call it is, public learning. I think that's a good term. I think that's also what you're doing here. So, yeah, let's get into it.
All right. Yeah, let's do it. So what I would say the most important thing of the day to talk about would be is all the speculation around what people are calling Atom 2.0. Ahead of Cosmoverse, big conference coming up in September, there's a lot of speculation about what's coming for that core economic lever of the Cosmos Hub. So do you have any insight into what that might look like and what the impact could be?
Yeah, I mean, this has been a thing that has been criticized over the past years, I guess, especially for Atom being the longest, oldest, OG chain in Cosmos. A lot of people were asking, like, what is the value accrual for Atom? Why does it not go up with the rising Cosmos, ecosystem adoption, IBC adoption, and all these kind of things? And also heavily, criticizing the basically infinite inflation and high inflation that Atom has as not being a strong enough value proposition for Atom to be an investment, a smart investment decision for retail, but also for institutions. And I think especially for institutions. So, but obviously these things are not, set in stone forever. And we've seen also, like, Ethereum itself is doing one of the biggest transitions, moving their consensus algorithm from proof of work to proof of stake, and all these kind of things. So there's a lot of things that are fluid. And for Atom, the part of the tokenomics, I think, has been something that, has been in the works and in talks for a long time now. This is not something that they're just figuring out now, like, hey, we have to redesign that thing. It's actually, something that is now coming together. I think now is also the right timing for it, because the killer application with interchain security is about to go live, which is in combination with the tokenomics redesign, something that, the people are noticing, institutions are noticing, and the market is also slowly pricing in, as it seems. I mean, Atom has been pretty strong over the past few days and weeks. But there's only little I want to speculate about it, because I personally don't know much details about it.
Yeah.
All I know is that on September 26th, which is day one of Cosmoverse, which is the biggest Cosmos conference of the year, there will be a panel, which will also be live streamed for anybody that can't be there, where they will announce it formally, right? So they will say, hey, this is what we have in mind. They will propose it and basically share the updated Hub 2.0 white paper, which is currently being written. That's something that I know right now, the most that I know. And I think the tokenomics are not just like, how can we optimize the inflation? It's also about how can we optimize Atom for use cases as an interchain service provider for the broader Cosmos ecosystem. And I think that's really more about positioning. It's not about to get Atom quickly to the top 10, and to make it a highly valuable coin. Obviously, that's one of the cool side effects that it would have. But I think it's more about really positioning the Cosmos Hub as an interchain service provider for other chains in Cosmos to make their life easier without having to enforce dependencies. So yeah, a lot of excitement around this announcement that was made. And yeah, I'm equally excited as everybody in Cosmos. But I think, yeah, it will touch upon the inflation, the emission. It will touch upon the utility of Atom itself, especially in context of interchain security and other interchain services that the hub will provide for other chains in Cosmos.
Yeah, thanks for that insight. I mean, of course, folks that are watching or listening, regardless of where you are platform-wise, we're obviously speculating because this is something that's going to be announced in tandem with a white paper towards the end of September. But what we do know is that there's a lot of importance to this update because, like you were saying, you don't just design token economics to pump the price. And a lot of people in retail or a lot of people that are general users, that's what they're very focused on. But protocol developers are really focused on the utility of the token, balancing the economics of price growth, the use in security practices. So as an economic lever, the Cosmos Hub and Atom is very important to the security of the overarching network. And interchain security basically allows other blockchains in this ecosystem to lean on the security of the validators. And so it's really, really, really critical that this is done right. So I'm glad that there's very little information out there, and hopefully it'll be all released at the same time and we can react at that point.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Cosmos is also very known, like the Cosmos core developers, and there's a bunch of them, a bunch of different teams, right? It's not centrally dependent on one big organization or one big company. So I think they're all very product driven. They're all very focused on building, which is why you don't hear a lot of hype. I remember I don't know, a year and a half ago, before the first Polkadot parachain auctions went live, there was a lot of hype around it, right? I think in Cosmos, we're getting more and more hype, but I think it's more organically because the community is just so active. From the first time we talked to now, I've seen a lot more development on, community members stepping up, creating content on YouTube, writing very, very informative threads, teams getting more, together, being more collaborative. A lot of governance stuff, very interesting stuff that has been developed over the past year. So I feel like it's all coming together, and I like this spirit that Cosmos has, which is more community-focused, community-oriented, right? Same for Cosmos. It's organized by the community. It's not organized by the Interchain Foundation or any large institution in Cosmos. And yeah, there's always obviously some friction in it, but as if you would centrally coordinate these things. But like you say, I think that's what makes Cosmos so unique and so interesting and exciting. And yeah, I guess though the next month is going to be full of threads and content on Twitter and YouTube with excitement around Atom 2.0 and the roadmap for the next year or two.
I'm looking forward to it myself. Cosmos has long been one of the projects that I've been most interested in as a research project for myself, and it's a cornerstone of the interoperable future that I've always envisioned for crypto, and where we land and mass adoption, I think, is dependent on interoperability and general interoperability like Cosmos offers. But what I also wanted to talk about, and you had a great video about this on your channel recently, and I'll link that in the description for folks to watch, but there was there's an indication now that Cosmos has gone from the low-key, not very hyped project that very few people except really dedicated community members know about, to something now that's being picked up by institutions and some of the bigger names, even in the more traditional finance area. So VanEck released a report fairly recently about their bullishness about Cosmos as an ecosystem, and they gave a lot of reasons why, and they accompanied that reason and those reasons why with bold predictions that the upside potential is, I think, $140 Atom and 5,000 chains in the Cosmos ecosystem by 2030, which I think is pretty bold. What are your thoughts on that? What's your takeaway from reading that?
So when I read the report, I had to read it twice, because the way I understand how they evaluate the price potential of Atom is that they say $140 should be the fair price today, and then the ecosystem would expand to 5,000 chains that are interconnected through IBC by 2030 over a span of 8 years. And with that growth and adoption of IBC and growth of Cosmos, they say that half of that, which is 2,500 chains, would be secured or somehow route back or accrue value for Atom, with the killer application being interchain security. And there will be more features, like I said earlier, potentially something like IBC routing, although I think there's also great alternatives right now out there with Axelar, for example. But yeah, I think the price potential that they have based on their whatever analysis, which obviously those are just numbers, and crypto, sure, we can pull 100x's. We have seen it all the time over the years. But their prediction is 160x, I think, by 2030, based on the market cap for Atom, which would put it at somewhere like $1,600. Obviously, that's bigger than Ethereum right now, but who knows in 8 years how big the crypto market is going to be. Maybe Bitcoin is at $500,000 or 200K or whatever. It's all pure speculation. Yes. And it's cool to see, though, that institutions are doing the research on interchain security, are doing the research on IBC, and find it an interesting topic and niche in crypto, which is probably not just a niche anymore. It's the future, actually, right? Interoperability is the name of the game. And they also make cases for it, explaining that a lot of bridges have been exploited, and how IBC is fundamentally different because it's a light client bridge, basically, that mitigates a lot of the risks that those traditional bridges have, especially if they have multi-sigs, right? So I think it's a very interesting report. Obviously, the numbers are cool. Like, I wouldn't be mad if Atom would 160x over the next 8 years. I would be very happy about that. But yeah, cool to see. And maybe this could be the beginning of more institutions getting aware, and in combination with the Atom 2.0 tokenomics, that there would also be a more attractive token model for those people to invest. Over the past year and a half, we've seen the staking rewards were pretty decent. We've seen a lot of airdrops, obviously, that made a lot of cosmonauts really, really happy. So yeah, cool report. Bold price predictions, which I barely do any price predictions, but why not? Crypto is Wild West. Anything can happen. It can go to $1,500, $2,000. Why not? I mean, we've seen crazy things in crypto over the years, and
you're right.
Yeah, let's see.
Right. I mean, looking at this from a perspective of the price predictions, I think sometimes people get very attached to those. What I was most impressed with in this report was the level of understanding and the clear degree of research that this, I think it was a couple of folks at Vanek who'd done this. Primarily, they were the main authors. I was so impressed with the research they'd done, to the end of talking about bridge security, talking about validator security, talking about how Atom could accrue value transitively through 2,500 to 5,000 blockchains built in the Cosmos ecosystem, deriving from that Cosmos hub. I think it's really, really interesting to see that, because it was not like this even 3 years ago. Institutions did not have this domain knowledge, and now you're starting to see that pick up. And I think it's good for complex projects like Cosmos that people in these areas understand what it is now.
Yeah, I agree. I think the only thing that I would probably put in a different context is because if I recall correctly, in the report they're saying that Atom is a layer 0 that is like basically interchain, but Atom itself is just a sovereign chain, a sovereign layer 1 within Cosmos, so it basically competes with all other chains. I would say at max IBC would be a layer 0 technology that is is not tied to any chain. But I think the role really of the Cosmos Hub, and that's why you could argue it could evolve into a layer 0 over time, is through interchain services like ICS, where it could really provide these unique services for other chains that would then also accrue value back to Atom from other networks in Cosmos, other sovereign chains or consumer chains on the Cosmos Hub. I think this is something that could happen in the future, and that's obviously where it's positioning right now to get there in the future, similar like the relay chain in Polkadot or in Kusama. But yeah, I think, yeah, like you say, they're doing their homework, especially in a bear market. And people somehow get a little bit emotional when you hear crazy price targets, especially in a bear market, because everything is going down. But it's exactly where you do your research, where you're supposed to be on top of the things. And yeah, I think Finac is doing their homework. Hopefully, so do other institutions as well.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. And the last place I wanted to touch on with you is, obviously we've talked about IBC, so inter-blockchain communications, core protocol that allows sovereign blockchains to communicate with each other securely and in a trustless manner. That's the sort of common word out there. But what are some of the other things that you are looking at that are coming down the pike for Cosmos that you're most excited about? Or maybe speculation that you might have around what some of the roadmap features might be as they land in the 2.0 paper?
Obviously, the biggest one that is now finally coming to life is interchain security, which is basically the relay chain, parachain model that Polkadot pioneered. Cosmos obviously had that envision since day one when the project started. They just started on the other end of the spectrum and first said, hey, let's build first a sovereign network of sovereign blockchains before we build this shared security model on the Cosmos Hub. But this is now coming live. The pre-release was just announced, I think, 1, 2, 3 weeks ago, something like that. And the first consumer chain is supposed to go live as early as January. So that's just a few months away. And there have already been announcements for 2 launch partners. I think there will be a lot more that could also potentially be very, very big. Quicksilver and Neutron are the 2 launch partners that are confirmed so far. Quicksilver is a liquid staking solution, and Neutron is a smart contract platform that enables CosmWasm. And those 2 chains will launch as consumer chains on the Cosmos Hub, which means they route value for Atom, fees are paid in Atom, and the validator set of the Cosmos Hub is leveraging to also secure those 2 chains and hopefully many more in the future. So those are things that I'm really excited about, and also to see how the market will react to that in terms of other chains that would like to try out to use or become a consumer chain or maybe evolve into a consumer chain. Liquid staking is another thing that I think is also pretty big for Atom itself. We've seen it obviously on ETH. Lido's liquid staking solution has accrued tremendous value and is one of the largest cryptocurrencies in terms of market cap out there. So hopefully we'll see a strong product market fit for liquid staking for Atom, which is something that is also now coming to life with Stride and Quicksilver, P-Stake, Stuffy. There's a bunch of competitors in the race right now. Obviously Lido as well. They're also now launching on Atom. So yeah, liquid staking is something that I'm really excited about. IBC routing, I think this is not a priority yet. I don't know if this will be part of the white paper, because I know, for example, Zaki, who is one of the core developers, he's not the biggest fan of this idea, but then you have Jack Sempolin, who is also core developer, and he is a big fan of it. So I don't know what came out of that debate. I think we'll see in the white paper when it's being released. But yeah, I think it's all about really building use cases for Atom and the Cosmos Hub to be positioned as a service provider for the interchain to offer services for other chains in Cosmos. And maybe eventually, the Cosmos Hub could also turn into a funding source for other chains. So yeah, we'll see. There's interesting ideas out there. But ICS and liquid staking are 2 of the biggest ones, I think, that are pretty much confirmed and will hopefully have a large impact on the positioning of the hub.
Yeah, it sounds great. I mean, for folks that are watching or listening, if you want to use this opportunity now to jumpstart your research, interchain security, so deriving security from the 175 give or take validators in the Cosmos world, liquid staking, and sort of the dynamics of the Cosmos Hub. These are some of the things that you can go and take into your own hands and go and research more. I would recommend you do so. and my friend CryptoCito here also dropped names of quite a few projects that you could go and look and learn more about their approach and how they're tackling different use cases and applications in the Cosmos space. So lastly, CryptoCito, closing thought, if you could recommend to somebody that's watching right now the next thing to do, like where to go to research something, a good content creator that you've been watching, a good place to learn, what would you recommend? Top number one.
Yeah, I mean, the best source for information on Cosmos is definitely Twitter. There's a bunch of accounts such as Friends Validator, such as Thyborg, THYBORG. They're doing really, really informative and very educational threads about everything in Cosmos. Then follow all the core developers, Sakimanian, Jack Zampolin, also Ethan Buckman, who is one of the two co-founders. Follow Jay Kwon also, who is working on No Land. Follow Jacob Gadikian, even though he's a little bit controversial sometimes, but I think that's also an important voice in Cosmos. But yeah, follow all these guys. On YouTube, you also have Liam Connor, Confident in Crypto. He just had a month break, but he's back now and also does very, very good content and interviews. I want to see more content creators, and I think, well, you've also educated a lot of people around Cosmos, as well as people like Alcoin Psycho, like they also do videos about it. But I think from the pure Cosmos only content creators, I hope to see more of them. But yeah, it's all coming together slowly now. So yeah, seeing more stuff out there. Twitter is definitely the best place. And also make sure to follow Cosmoverse HQ. We will have a live stream about the event, which is going down September 26, 28 in Medellin, Colombia. For people that want to come by, I think there's still tickets available for like $99 or something like that, which is very inexpensive to say the least. And you can meet everybody there in person. You know, the Osmosis team is there, the Juno Network team, Crescent is there. Like there's people flying in from all over the world, and it's going to be really, really big. But again, there will also be a live stream of the conference, so you don't, if you can't make it, you can also watch it there. And yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I really appreciate you having me on again. This was really cool.
Absolutely. Thanks for doing it. And of course, let me add to the list. Please follow and subscribe to CryptoCito. Again, the link is in the description below. If you're interested in Cosmos, that's a must-have subscription on your behalf. So thank you so much to the folks who are watching and listening. I hope this was educational and informative. Leave a comment letting me know what other videos you'd like to see in the Cosmos space or abroad. And CryptoCito, thank you for taking the time.
Sure thing, man. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you hopefully again soon.
Until next time, cheers.